So what are control statements, right? So basically, if you take any Java program, right, like they follow a sequential and a linear execution model. When I say sequential or linear execution model, basically a serial execution, it's nothing but like if you have 100 lines of program that you have written, right, with various method calls and all in between that. So Java executes from top to down, line after line, one line after another in a sequential manner, right, serial manner. And when you write the program, you should be thinking in the same way, and at the same time uh, the execution also happens in that same, right? So when we say control statements, they basically talk about how we can alter this particular flow of control of Java's program execution from top to bottom in a serial way, right? Like if you want to control this flow of execution in some way, like serial flow of execution which Java does in some way, right? Or like say for example, let's take like you have 100 lines, and somewhere in the bottom, like after 30 lines, you have you want to execute some 10 lines only when certain condition is or certain criteria is met, right? Like so you have a when you have a requirement of that sort, like we can make use of the control statements and ensure that that portion of code get executed only when certain expression or certain anything, right, certain criteria is met, sort of, right? So likewise, and if at all you have certain thing to be executed multiple times, right, like you have some certain chunk of code that needs to be executed repeatedly until again there is a certain condition met, right? So we make use of Java control statements, right? So in general, simply put, the control statements basically cause the flow of execution to basically advance and probably separate or branch based on the state of the program and the type of control statement we are using. Okay, so broadly the Java control statements are classified into these following categories: selection statements, iteration statements, and jump statements. Right. So selection statements basically allows our program to choose different paths of execution based upon the outcome of an expression of certain variable, right? Like we will take help of certain expression or a certain variable, and looking at the state of that, we can choose whether to execute this or to execute that. It's like some sort of a decision making process that we can interpret there in case of selection statements. And iteration statements is to like as the name suggests, iteration, right? It basically enables execution to repeat one or more statements in a loop, like repeatedly executing something, sort of, right? And jump statements basically help us to execute our program in a non-linear fashion. Non-linear fashion in the sense probably something like this, right? Executing line number 1 and then move on to line number 10, something of that sort. We can make use of jump statements. Sorry, jump statements, right? So let's just take few examples of each of these, and let's try to understand a bit more, right? So let's start with selection statements, right? So if we talk about in general, Java supports two selection statements. One is if statement and another is a switch statement. And basically these statements allow us to control our program execution based upon conditions, right? And these conditions are evaluated only at runtime. We may not know what is the condition, right? And because of this, it gives us the power and flexibility to control the flow of execution of our program within runtime itself, right? And let's just try to understand these statements, okay? And within if, you have multiple variations like if else, nested if else if, and all, right? So we will take a quick look at this and see how it works out, right? So I'm jumping to my IDE. Okay, Well, I'll start with if statement, right? So if you see here, I have a something like this A or B, right? So I'll start with if statement first. So basically, if syntax would look like this: if you will have a condition, okay, I'll just probably write it here. You have an if statement, and then you within brackets you need to write statements, whatever you want to write, okay, and over here put some condition, okay. So if this condition this condition should be evaluating to boolean ultimately, okay, either true or false. Accordingly, if that condition is satisfied, it will go and execute it. If this condition is not satisfied, it won't execute it, right? This is the a basic variant of if, and you have an if else version where you put an else and you write some more statements here. So that means if this condition evaluates to true, it would execute this statement one, which is present inside that if you, or else if this condition doesn't evaluate it to true, right? If it is false, then it would go and execute whatever chunk of code that we written in this else part, right? So having said that, let's just quickly see some example of if condition, right? So I'll just try to probably do something, right? Like for example, I can say if of a, right? I'll say here sys out I am a something like that, right? Just trying to understand. When you write a single statement, you no need to put these curly braces, okay? So I'm putting a single statement, right? So you no need to use curly braces. But when you use multiple statements to be executed under your if, then it's mandatory you put curly braces, else it will only take only one statement, okay? Now, can you guys tell what is the output of this particular program? If you see ABCR are Boolean types, right? So what can be the output of this program, guys? Go on, just say something. Yeah, go on. Who is this? Yeah, go on. What is the output, guys? Anyone? Alex, Asha, Varsha.
ABC.
ABC. No.
Will be false. The
What?
last part print C will be false. System, the last no, line number 22 print C, which is A or B, right? True or false?
It's not executed because of
Okay, A or B in the sense true or false will be evaluating to true, right? You remember the table.
Right,
A
true,
is true,
true.
B or false, A or B will evaluate to true, right? So C probably will contain statement true, right? So now what is the output?
Yes.
Come on, guys, quickly.
Yeah, it's just A, B, and C. Last is true.
I am A.
So,
I'm
I'm A, I'm C, and then true.
Okay. Anyone else thinks otherwise?
Uh,
Anyone else has any other answers? Yeah, Vasha, you are also saying something. Or Namrata.
so it will just be I am A, I'm
Okay, so let's just execute this and see the program. Okay, so what is the output?
yeah, that was the output.
It says I am A, I am B, sorry, I am C, and true, right?
And true.
Which we are printing earlier. So if you see here, it says if of A, that means A value is true. This becomes true, right? So it will execute this statement. And coming here, if of B, B is false. So it will not execute this statement at all. So, so because of this condition, now we are able to skip this line, right? We are able to skip this line not to be executed because I gave a condition to be met for this particular line to be printed. So here my B is false. So if of B evaluates to false, so this will not print this particular statement. And similarly, C is nothing but A or B. If A is true and B is false, as per the truth table in our last session, which we are discussing, right? OR condition. So A is true and B is false will evaluated true, A or B evaluated to true, right? So C will be true. So that's why you will see I am C as true, and we are just printing what is the resultant output of this particular A or B, right? Which is true. So that's what it is. Okay. And clear, right? Like I hope no confusions. Now let's just see how if else works, right? So I'm just I'll just remove this part and probably will write some extended version of like I'll say int A equal to 10 and C equal to 20. And I'm writing condition like A less than C. This out. I'll say A is less than C. As simple as that. Else A is not less than C, right? So what is the output of this program?
A is less than C.
A is less than C, right? Because let me just execute this and then we'll talk about it. So A is less than C, right? Suppose I change this to, now let's just execute it again. The output is A less than C?
No.
30 is not less than 20, right? So this will evaluate to false, so it will not execute this statement, and it will go to else and it will execute whatever that is present in else, which is like A is not less than C. Okay, so this is how we can use if else. And if you see, this is the condition, right? We used a relational operator which we have discussed in yesterday, right? This relation operator is greater than, right? I'll use another statement. Probably I'll say A is 20 and B is 20. So what will happen here? Guys, A is 20 and C is 20 now. What will we get? what we will get?
A is not less than C.
Sorry?
A is not less than C.
A is not less than C. Okay. Okay. Anyone else thinks same, or anyone else thinks otherwise?
I think it will not execute.
It will not execute. Okay. Okay. Let's just see. Right. A is not less than C. See, the condition we are trying to check is if A is less than C, then I am asking to execute this. Else, execute this. That means else in the sense, else is nothing but anything other than A less than C is my else condition, right? So here 20 is not equal to 20 is not less than 20. 20 is in fact equal to 20, right? So that means this condition is false. So it will not execute this. So it will go and execute whatever that is present in the else part. Else is basically if nothing satisfies that condition, then everything should fall. Everything will automatically come under your else bucket. Okay. We can improve this program a little bit by saying like this, right? I can say I'll write the else if part now, if else loop. Okay. So I'll just put another condition like this. And I'll say if A greater than C. Okay, I'll take here. I'll say A greater than C. So now what will be the output, guys? I just gave one more condition here. Okay, this is a if else loop. So basically it will check first for this condition. If it satisfies this, it will execute this, and it will come out. It will not execute anything. If this condition is not satisfied, it will check for this condition. If this is satisfied, it will execute this. If this is not satisfied, it will come out. If both conditions are not satisfied, then it will execute the else part. Okay. Now tell me what is the output here. Given A and C values are both 20, what will be the output?
A is not less than C.
Less than C.
Right. A is not less than C, right? So basically, if A is greater than less than C, if A is greater than C, that means if both statements are not true, then that means that A is obviously equal to 2, right? So we can just simply put here the same, right? A is equal to C. So now it's just a logical conclusion that we are coming, right? Either there can be only 3 combinations. A can be greater than C, A can be less than C, or A is equal to C. 2 combinations we already gave. So third one will be automatically A is equal to C, right? Like we need not again check. We need not again put a check here like C if A equal to C. Is it required? It's not required. No, it's implicit, right? Yeah. Is there any need to put a condition like this, guys? No, right? It's implicit. So we can just simply put it in else like this, right? So now if I execute, it will give you that A equal to C, okay? And if I give A as a 21, okay? Now A is greater than C, right? So like this. So we can make use of if else condition, and normally we would try to write a lot of code here, like at least some 20-30 lines of code we will write, okay? This is just a sample. For explanation, I just gave you one statement, which is the sysout. Okay. And like I said, always, even though it's a single statement, try to enclose your entire part to be executed in a curly braces like this. Okay. So here, if you see this if part body is this if part body is this else part body is this. Okay. So this set of statements from that curly brace to this curly brace. So this all with respect to the if else statement. Okay. I think so far we saw the simple if statement, if else statement, and then if else if. This is called as if else if ladder. Okay. And we saw the normal if else also. See, in addition to this, you can do a nested conditions like this, right? Probably under this, you can say if A is equal to, okay, and you can say some condition I'm putting here, okay. A value is 10, okay. Now I will say, so now can you guys tell me what is the output here? In this particular program, what would be the output? Provided value of A is 10 and value of C is 20.
A is less than C.
Okay, and that's it.
Still A is not less than C.
A is not less than C. There is no such statement actually. We are either printing A is less
A
than
value
C,
is 10.
greater than
A
C.
value is 10.
A?
The house is here.
A value is 10, right?
A value is 10. Okay. Okay. Let me just execute it and see what.
Go. No,
So it first printed this statement A less than C because it will just come here. It will replace the value of A, which is 10. 10 is less than 20. True, right? Then look at this block. This has these 4 lines of code under this block. So it will come to this line and it will print this statement, which is A less than C. And then it will come and evaluate to this particular statement, which is A equal to 10. Is A equal to 10? Yes. This is becoming true. So then it will come and execute this particular statement. A value is 10. Okay. As simple as that. Yeah. So that means inside if you can make use of another if also, not just if. You can make use of if else also, right? A value is not 10, right? So inside a particular if condition, you can make use of again another if condition or if else condition or if else if ladder also. This is like nesting your if conditions. Okay. So now what will be the output, guys? I'll make this 11. What will be the output?
A is less than C. A value is not 10.
A value is not 10. Okay, that's right. Right. So if I executed this again, you see here again A 11 is less than 20. True, right? Then it will come to this particular loop inside. So it will try to execute the highlighted portion of blocks. So first it will execute the 9th line, which is A is less than C. Then afterwards at 10th, you have a condition if A is equal to C. Is 11 equal to 10? No, which is false, right? So it will not execute the line number 11 and it will move to the else part. And it will just simply print whatever that is there in the line number 13, which is nothing but A's value is not 10. Okay. So this is how we can make use of the selection statements of if and try to arrive at multiple possible combinations of flow of control and execute some code, some not execute some code. All these things come into picture. Okay. So, any queries guys before we move on to the next? Any queries here? Guys, whoever is not speaking, please go on mute. There is a lot of background noise. So, any queries on if? Else I'll move on to the next example.
Sir, I have a question. When I'm execute this program, I'm write the same program what you write, but it doesn't go to the next step, which is A value is 10. It just shows the A is not less than C.
Is not like I have changed the program. Like, are you looking at the updated
No,
program?
I'm just asking the first one. Like, not this one. But still the same thing is coming out when I execute it.
Can you just
the
paste in the
control-
chat whatever you wrote?
Okay.
Asha, right? Yeah, Asha, just paste in the chat, Asha, whatever you wrote. Okay. I'll probably share this in the chat for you guys to have a look at it if needed, right?
Okay.
Let me just share this file for you.
With these. Let us baby.
Where's the paste?
Sorry,
Oh, no, nothing.
you are not able to paste, is it?
No, I did, but this is I just changed, but and before was the like middle system. The middle after if the second if was not executed when I was trying the first time, which is supposed to come value. It's so close. A value is not.
See, as per your program, if A is 20 and C is 20, right? So that means A and C both are equal. So if you come to the first, if 20 is less than 20, no. So this part is not getting executed. Then it will come here. If A greater than C, no, right? A is equal to C in fact. So it will not execute this also. So it will come to else. So in else, what you wrote A is not less than C. So it obviously it will print this, right? So it's as expected, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Asha,
So,
got
sir,
it?
once the condition is false, goes to automatically second if, and if is not true and goes to the second one. That's how it works. Or
See, if this condition is not true, then it's obviously will not execute anything inside that. It will go to the next condition. Here you gave else if, which means you specified another condition. So it will try to check this condition. This condition is also evaluated to false because A is not less than C. A is in fact equal to C. So it will not execute any of this. And similarly, when it comes to this condition, here also A is not greater than C. In fact, again, A is equal to C. So it will not execute this also. So automatically it would come to else part and it execute whatever that is present in else part. So in else part, you wrote A is not less than C, right? So it will print this statement. Okay.
okay. Thank you.
So fine, guys. So now let's just talk about the switch case. Okay. So switch case basically it kind of say I'll just tell you how it works. Okay. So switch. I'll write it first. Switch, and then case. Case 10, probably something like that. Okay. So this is how my simple switch case works, and I'll just put here. If you see here, I'm just taking the value of A, which is basically 11, right? And then I'm trying to match with the case. Case is nothing but it will just try to match the value of this inside switch. I can give any expression. Okay, here I can give a greater than b, anything likewise, right? Expressions I can give. So like we will use case when you basically think that your expression inside switch, if it has a multiple conditions, like more than if else, like which is basically more than either or types, if you have a multi values based on which you need to select, right? Then we can make use of a switch case. Okay, so where it will just try to match the value of the expression here, and if that value matches, then it will execute that particular part, and in the end, if nothing matches, it will go and execute whatever that is present in the default condition. Okay, this is how a simple switch case statement works. Okay, it will just try to case 10 is nothing but it will try to compare the what this particular expression evaluates to, and it will just try to do that work, and it will break after executing that part. We have to put this explicit break statement, which will basically come out of the switch case. Okay, so now having said that, can you guys tell me what would be the output of this particular program? Here we are not making use of C. A value is just 11. So what would be the output here?
Default.
The last one.
Value is not 10, 20.
Value is not
Value
10,
is not
20.
10 or 20 or 30, right? So if I, value is not 10 or 30. If I put this to 20, and what is the output?
Value is 10, 20.
No, value is not.
Value
It
is
will not
20.
execute. It will just try to compare it with the case, right? Here, case is what? Case is value is 20. So case is 10. 10 is 10 equal to 20? No. Now it will come here. Is 20 equal to 20? Yes. So it will evaluate this. So which is value is 20. It will execute that statement. Okay. Suppose I'm saying I'll put a condition like 40. So now what will print?
The value is not 10, 20, 30.
Value is not 10, 20, 30 because here actually checking for 10, 40 and 30. 20 we are not verifying it. Those the statements are like this, right? You guys are understanding the difference, right? Like how the switch case works. So this is a switch case works, okay? But it's really powerful statement in Java, okay? Like I said, for example, think about some can you guys think about some functionality which we can implement by making use of switch case? Anything? Just think of some functionality which we want to execute it based on a switch case, right? So what do you think it can be?
Maybe you can put integer A20 or A, the integer another like C30, make it switch A lesser than C, and then case 10, 20, 30, something like that.
No, not. So see, just think about a real world scenario. See, the idea to use switch is that expression, whatever inside you're putting in,
We
C
can
should
do
have a
student
multiple
numbers.
multiple possible values, right? So here, A, we are just giving one value, but in general, assume some entity in real world which will have multiple values, and based on those values, you need to do certain thing. So you need to choose which case. So what do you think is the best example? I'm just giving you some example. So what do you think? I'm just giving you some analogy to compare it with some real world, right? Like, what do you think it can be?
Let's do the pass fail, like 90 is pass, 50 fail. Can we do that?
90 is
Pass.
okay.
Or like
This is again if else thing, right? You can achieve it using if else also. We really don't need switch for that.
Is
We really don't need switch case for that, right? So we can do it with if else also.
We can check the sizes, small, medium, large, extra large, or like a month.
Right. Those are good
only.
examples. right? Like you can create a size value. Size, you can possibly have multiple values like extra large, extra small, small, large, extra large, double extra large, right? So we can put a size and you can say like switch size, and then you put case M, case small, case XL, case L. So we can put like this. And another good example is definitely month, right? Like month will contain 12 values, 12 possible values, right? Like January, February to December. So you can, if it is January, case January, you can write one thing, right? And another good example is also weeks, right? Like switch weekday. If it is Monday, case Monday, you do something, case Tuesday, you do something, case Saturday or Sunday, you do something, if, right? So something like that, right? So these are few possible best real world scenarios to think in these scenarios. You can also achieve them if else also, but it would be more sensible to use switch case in these kind of multi-value scenarios. Okay, understood, right? We can definitely menu. I think someone said menu, a real world. That's a pretty good example of menu, like menu items, right? Like if you choose home menu or probably in hotel menu also, right? So all these are very good examples to to use switch case rather than, see, we can achieve them in if else also. It's not really needed we need to use in switch case. We can definitely achieve them. Like if at all month, right? In a single if statement, you can put month equal to January, or month equal to February, or month equal to, so ultimately that month will have only one value at given point of time, right? So one of the condition becomes true. So in if also you can definitely achieve, but it won't look good, right? Switch case is more after, looks more meaningful to those kind of scenarios. Like your code looks much more cleaner, right? So just keep this in mind. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for these examples, guys. Now I'll move on to the next control statement within Java. So I think we pretty much covered all this: if, else, if, nested if, else, if, right? So now we'll talk about iteration statements. Right? So basically, what is an iteration statement, right? So in Java, we have three types of iteration statements: for loop, while, do while loop. Okay. So in general, we simply refer these iteration statements to loops. So you can call them as while loop, do while loop, for loop, something like that, right? And since as the name suggests loop, right? That means a loop is something, it basically repeatedly executes the same set of things until a certain termination condition is met, right? So let's take one sample example and let's try to understand this, right? Like say, for example, I am removing this code and we'll just demonstrate loops now. Okay. We'll start with simple, basic simple this loop, while loop. Okay. I'll say A. This is all right, while loop. But I need to specify some termination condition here. Okay. A is greater than or probably greater than 0. So I'll take the value as 5 and I'll say this out. Hello. And here I will say A minus minus. Right? So what will be the output, guys, here? Just to think.
5 times hello.
Okay, it will print hello 5 times, is it? Okay, let's just see. It definitely got printed multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So basically for the first time, 5 is greater than 0. It's evaluated to true. It will come here and it will print hello. And then I'm trying to decrement the value of a, which is from 5 to, I'm reducing it by 1, which is 4. Now 4 is greater than 0, it will print. Now it will become 3 again. 3 is greater than 0, hello. Next 2 is greater than 0, yes. Next 1 is greater than 0, yes. Now 0 is greater than 0, no. This will evaluate false. So your loop will terminate, okay? So this is how we can make use of the loops, okay? So here we are based upon certain condition like this, and we are basically trying to do something repeatedly, okay? Now if I remove this, what will be the output? I'm just commenting that a minus minus. So what will be the output now?
Error, sir.
Sorry?
Error.
No, I couldn't hear you properly. Who is that? Namrata, Ashish?
6 hellos.
6 hellos, okay. Okay, any other answers? Come on guys, make it quick. That's okay, just give any answer. I want you to interact and participate, right? Then you will clearly understand what you get this learning like for permanent, right? Sort of.
The loop will keep on going since we don't have the.
Hello.
So basically, someone says it will execute in a continuous loop, which will never end, sort of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other answers? Any other
I
answer?
only say one hello.
One hello. Okay. Okay. So now I got 3 different answers, right? Someone said 6 hellos, someone said 1 hello, and someone said it will keep on executing hello, it will never end. Okay. Now let's just try to execute and see this. Right. So I'll just put the console here. Okay. I'll just try this. Okay. Okay, now this is not my class, right? I need to open the hello. Okay. So now I'm executing this. What is happening, guys?
Keep going. Hello.
It keeps on printing hello, right? So see, that's what loop is, right? In previous scenario, if you see, I decremented value of a by 1 in every iteration. So there is at some certain point your value of a is going less than 0, right? So it just printed it for 5 times until that terminal condition is met. But here if you see a is 5 and a is greater than 0, are we modifying a value in any way here? No, right? So it will just definitely, it is a loop. The idea is to execute something repeatedly, so right? So now see, it is going on in a continuous loops, right? So take this as a lesson. When you write loops, you should definitely have some condition which would ultimately stop, okay? Or else if you go and execute in an infinite loop like this, your programs will crash, okay? Whatever software program you're writing, it will crash. Now, when working with loops, just take care of the infinite loops, okay? Don't try to write any infinite loops. Like try to put some terminal condition and understand when your loop should close, stop executing. Okay, that's really important. Okay, so working with loops, take care that you don't write infinite loops. Okay, so now I'm doing a minus minus. Okay, so now we'll talk about the other version of loop, which is do while. So if you see this, I will write this condition here, a greater than 0, and same thing. Same things I'll just put here. Okay. This is another version of a while loop, which is do while loop. Okay, nothing much. Just commenting this part for now. Now, what will be the output, guys? So with this example, we will understand difference between the while loop and a do while loop, right? So what is the output of this program now? Come on, guys. Just quick test. What do you think is the output?
I think it's gonna be same hello 5 times.
Hello 5 times. Okay. Any other answers?
Mine is keep going. Hello.
Yours is keep going. Have you given a minus minus?
I think it's the same 5. Hello.
If you don't give a minus minus, yeah, same thing will happen. You see, you should ensure that your condition evaluates to false at some point, right?
Oh, I know, I understand.
Okay. Someone said hello 4 times. Okay. So, okay, let's just see this. What would be the
No,
output?
I fixed it. I fixed it.
How many times?
It's 5 times.
5 times. Okay. I'm executing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Yes. It is 5 times. Okay. I'll just do one thing. Set this. I will probably do something like okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's assume I just put this minus minus in front. Okay. I thought this can be an example. We can also write this in this way. Okay, see, the idea is, guys, this do while loop, right? So if I remove this, definitely it will go in an infinite loop, okay? But the key difference between while and do while loop is do while will execute 1 time more compared to the while loop, okay? So probably this example is not a good example. I'll just think about some example and probably I'll show you again, okay? So it will execute 1 time more because if you see, the condition is written in the last, right? So when writing do loop, my expectation is it should print hello 1 time more, which is like 6 times, right? So but it's printing 5. I'll just see what is the problem here. I'm missing something. I'll just look into that. But the idea is do while loop will execute one execution without checking for a condition. Okay, it will just execute the body of the loop at least once. Okay, that's the criteria. That's the key difference in case of while loop and do while loop. Like while loop, if you want 5 times, it will just execute only 5 times. But do while loop, it will execute 1 time more, because for the first time, it is not checking for any particular condition. Okay, it will. So if you see, it starts from do. Here, is there any condition that we gave here? Unlike while, no, right? So it will come here and it will simply execute this, and then it will decrement this, and it will go on here. So here, a will become 4, 4 is greater than 0, and so on. That's how it does, right? So probably I'll just think of something example which will kind of demonstrate this while and difference between while and do while. But for now, just keep in mind that do while loop makes one extra execution compared to while loop, because it doesn't evaluate any condition at first. Okay, and then now we'll talk about the next loop that we have, which is for loop. Okay. I'm just going back to the slide. So I'm talking about the for loop. Okay. So if you see, for loop syntax will look like this. Okay. I'm writing here. So first it will contain some initialization. And then it will contain some condition. And then it will contain some iteration. Okay, so this is the syntax of for loop. So let's just try to write one. Okay, I'll probably write one example, and that should be clear to you. Okay, I'll say I already declared a, right? So I'll say a equal to 0, and I'll take another variable. Int I equal to 0 and I less than a and I plus plus. This is out. So what do you think is the output of this particular program?
Five times A.
5 times? Sorry, come again. What is the output 5 times? Hello, is it?
How do you define I over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I in the sense, in for loop brings in a concept where we can use an additional variable. Okay, so it can be any variable that we can keep use, like you call it as a loop variable. You can make use of that extra variable. This is how for loop basically works. Okay, so or else I think the previous while loop what we wrote, right? Like while a greater than 0 is what we gave, right? And here we wrote sysort dot hello 4 times. This is what we wrote earlier, right? Like just execute this, and if you see hello is print. Okay, I also gave a minus minus, right? So the same program will basically print a 5 times, right? If I have to implement this with for loop, what I'll do, I'll just show you. Okay, I'll take here a equal to 0. So basically I'm reinitializing a to certain value, and probably I'll take it this way. Okay, I'll take another variable I equal to 5, and I'll say I greater than 0, and I'll say I minus minus. Okay, so since I'm making use of a new variable, I'll just simply put int here. This is like hello I, hello a. Now if you see, is basically I is starting at 5, so it will check is I greater than 0, 5 greater than 0, yes. So it will print hello a, and then it will do decrement. So basically here we specified initialization here And here we specified the condition, and here we specified the increment operator in case of while. But in for case, we are specifying everything in the single line, because all these are dependent on how your loop basically executes, right? Now, if you see, both will execute 5 times. Okay, hello A 5 times, hello I 5 times. Like same behavior, like trying to execute something repeatedly for 5 times. We are just trying to achieve them in different ways using different loops with the different representations. Okay. See, the best example probably you can take, right? Suppose you have an array of elements like this. Okay. Let's just assume you have an array, array of, say, I'll take array n. Will have an array of array C, and you have an array of 3 elements, for example, right? Like you have elements like 1, 2, 3. Something like this. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What happened? In the C of 3 equals. What did I give wrong? Just a second. Probably I should not give the size. Yeah. Okay. So now I can do one thing, right? I'll say hello here, and I'll say what? I'll say C of I. And I want to start with 0, and I want to go till I greater than or greater than C dot length. Okay. And I'll say I plus plus. Now observe this carefully. Okay. What this will do? Any idea? Just take a guess, guys. I changed this code this way. So what do you think it will do? Any guesses?
I length.
Sorry, hello I. Go on, what it will output. Okay, I'm executing. See for yourself, huh? No, wait. I should do less than C dot. Okay. Now if you see here, right? Initially I value is 0, and I should be less than C dot length. C is an array which basically contains 3 elements, right? So is 0, it will check for the condition. Is 0 less than 3? True, right? 0 is obviously less than 3. Then it will come inside and it will print this statement. Here it will say C of I. I value is what? Initially I value is 0. So it is C of 0. C of 0 is nothing but what? So using index, we are trying to retrieve the value of array C, which is 1. So 1 is getting printed here. Okay. Probably let me change this to 10, 20, 30, right? So if I execute this, so you are having values 10, 20, 30, right? So similarly, and once this is executed, then it will increment the value of I by 1. So initially it is 0, right? So now the value of I is 1. Now it will check for this condition. Is 1 less than 3? Yes. Then it will go and execute C of 1. Now again I'm incrementing it by 1. So now 1 will become 2. So is 2 less than 3? Yes, the condition is still satisfied. So it will go and execute this, which is C of 2, which is 30, right? C of 2 is nothing but what? 30. Now it will again increment the value of 5. So 2 will become 3. So is 3 less than 3? No, the condition failed, right? So the loop will stop here. It won't execute further. So it will come out of the loop and it will come here. It will say sysout out of loop. Out of loop after 3 iterations. Okay. So you can make this is how if someone asks you to how can you print can you print me values in an array, then what you will do, you will make use of loops, right? You can do this by using while loop also. Okay, so if you try to rewrite the same thing in while loop, this is how it will look. Okay, while I'll just check the same. Hello J. I'll take another variable J here. I'll say J plus plus T of J, and I'll say I need to declare initialize that variable here. J equal to 0. Okay, the same thing, nothing much, and I'm writing the condition here. J less than T dot length. Okay. Now, if you observe, this version and this version both are same. Okay. If I execute it, I'll just comment this part. I'll just put one statement here out of loop. Now, if you see, both versions are same. Okay, both are printing 10, 20, 30. But try to understand the difference. In for all these declarations are going in a single line, but in while this is how we will end up writing. Okay, clear? I think that's the only difference between the for loop and while loop. Just the representation. Okay, nothing much. Okay, so we'll stop here, guys. We'll talk about the jump statements tomorrow. But before that, I want all of you guys to work on this assessment. Okay, can you quickly guys take this screenshot? Can you guys take the screenshot of this particular slide I'm sharing? There are 3 sample programs, and I want you to start writing code and develop these programs. Come up with some solutions. Okay. You can Google, you can find the answer for this. But that's not going to help you anyway, right? I'm not giving you any scorecard or anything if you complete this assignment or not. So don't try to copy and don't take any solution from internet. The intent is to you think programmatically and try to write something on your own with respect to Java based on what we have discussed so far, right? So I'm giving you probably in tomorrow's class, I will explain you how to write the first program, but then I expect you guys to try to write a code for this first question and tell me the program tomorrow, solution tomorrow. Anyway, else I'm anyway going to show it for you, but I would expect you to write solutions for the second question and third question on your own. Okay, like I said, don't try to copy from anywhere. Try to execute them on your own. Give it a thought. Think of this as your first step into Java programming. Okay. So that way you will identify to what you understood the concepts till now so far and where you need to develop, right? So like just take this as a self introspection for you and take this assignment. Okay. And tomorrow attempt the first program. Okay. Don't look at the solutions. Like I said, guys, just give your best shot, and I want to see like where you guys stuck and see, right? So basically that will also help me to understand to what extent you guys have understood the concepts we have discussed so far, right? So I think whatever concepts we have discussed so far, they are pretty much good enough to write all these programs. Okay, so take this as an assignment. Have you guys taken the screenshot? So tomorrow I want you guys to come up with the output of the first program. Okay. Any queries? I'll stop here.
So is it just for the first one or all of them?
I want you to write program for all of them.
Okay.
Okay, but